Hi, my name is Noah Woodward and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it and subscribe, join the family, connect with me on all my social medias. I'm a lifestyle YouTuber that posts things about from covers to music things, more music things I guess, and just like ranting, talking, mukbanging, the normal YouTuber kind of deal. But today I'm going to be doing something super different and I'm going to try not to edit it too much, keep it kind of raw and just uncut, clean. And I will be talking about Ariana Grande today. I made two Ariana Grande videos before, not counting like my covers because there's a lot of those, but I've made a Sweetener Thoughts reaction, which is her fourth studio album, and also, I guess I did a lot, never mind. I did the Sweetener Thoughts video, I did top 10 Ariana Grande songs video, I did a Thank You Next album reaction, and singing Thank You Next, like all the way through while I was driving, just for something fun to do, I guess. Well, the main premise is to rank her albums, but I'm gonna be kind of just going through a timeline of her whole career, starting with like her debut on Broadway all the way to her Sweetener World Tour, which she just concluded at the end of 2019. So I'm very excited. I have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a long video, so like I said, buckle up, get a snack, get a drink, whatever you need, and I hope you enjoy. Before I start the video, I want to give three little big shout outs here really quick. The first one is going to be to stay tuned to the end of the video because I do have a small giveaway that I'm hoping you guys are kind of interested in because I've wanted to do this for a while but I never had the video to like do it, and this is kind of perfect, so I'm very excited. And then number two is these are all my opinions. And then the third thing I just want to say, I know we are all locked up right now inside. Hopefully you're staying inside. But just, you know, keep it going. If you ever need someone to talk to, you can reach out to me, and there are a bunch of other support systems as well, like globally. But I just wanted to say, please stay inside, and I hope you are all doing well. And hopefully this video kind of takes your mind off that for a while and you can escape and enjoy some Ariana Grande fun. So we're gonna start. So I'm gonna start by talking about kind of just a timeline in her career. So I started, I found Ariana Grande through 13. I love musical theater, I love Jason Robert Brown, so she was in 13. I didn't really know who she was or really care that much to know who she was, but I knew she was in the show. Like, I just knew of the cast. I didn't, honestly, probably didn't even really recognize her name or, like, know who she was, but I just knew of her. And then, after that, she got into Victorious on Nickelodeon. Super fun. I love that show so much. It's probably one of the, in the top three, like, best Nickelodeon shows of all time. But she got into Victorious, and she sang a lot on there, so obviously, like, we all knew she could sing, whatever. And then she released Put Your Hearts Up, in like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly, but that was a fun song, whatever, she doesn't like it, that's fine. And then she, I believe, before she released her first debut album, she opened for Justin Bieber. I don't know which tour for him, but I know she opened for Justin Bieber. So, like, before she even released an album, she had some songs, like, that's fine, she had some unreleased songs and things like that. But, before even releasing her debut album. Like, come on, that is incredible to be on Broadway, on a hit TV show that usually is supposed to run for 3 seasons, and I believe it ran for 4. So, awesome, whatever. Release a debut single, Put Your Hearts Up, whatever, take it as you will, and then opened for a household name, Justin Bieber. I think we all knew from that point that this girl was going to go far in her career, and she's... So starting with her debut album. So she released Yours Truly on September 3rd, 2013, and this is super significant for me because she released it on my first day of middle school. And why I remember this so vividly is because her second studio album, My Everything, was released on my first day of 8th grade. So she released it, like, both albums on my first day of school. So I was, like, kind of into it, you know? But this is ranked number 4. So out of her 5 studio albums, Yours Truly, My Everything, Dangerous Woman, Sweetener, and Thank You Next, this is my number 4. So number 1 being the greatest, number 5 being the not greatest, but it's amazing body of work. This is my number 4 just because I feel like she just keeps topping herself as time goes by. Yours Truly, if I could describe it, it's a pop R&B album, and I think it was released, it's amazing, it's a great body of work, but it kind of skewed her audience in a way that they shouldn't have been. I think with what she did later in her career, she kind of frayed away from the R&B sound, but now she's kind of bringing it back, which we all love. So it was a smart move. I'm surprised that she didn't release like a pure bubblegum pop album, but I guess that's just not who she is. That's kind of what we thought she was from Victorious and from her past. But this kind of proved like, hey, this girl can sing. She's not all just about bubblegum and rainbows, and she is a singer first and foremost. Before being a performer, before being a dancer, an actress, model, whatever she is a singer. So Yours Truly had like 3 main singles: The Way, Baby I, and Right There. And then Almost Is Never Enough was a promotional single. I think it was also in some kind of movie as well. And then she embarked on a listening sessions tour. It was called the Listening Sessions, just to promote the album. It was her first tour, but she didn't go everywhere. It was kind of smaller, smaller venue, and she only went to like 10 cities, maybe 10. She didn't come to my city, so that was a thing. At this point, I wasn't so obsessed with Ariana. I was kind of just like feeling it, whatever. I knew like half of the songs on the album, and I didn't really care too much to learn more because I was still kind of in like a Lady Gaga Born This Way phase. But from there, after she released My Everything, that's like when it all came full circle. But she was still kind of in that Cat Valentine phase, and she was trying very hard to break out of it. And I think that this kind of set her apart from that, and then it kind of started getting the ball rolling for the future, for her future albums and stuff. And then she released Christmas Kisses. I thought that was shocking to release a Christmas EP only after your first album. Usually, you know, that kind of happens later, like how Mariah Carey released a Christmas album, stuff like that. Kelly Clarkson released a Christmas album later. She went and did the EP. It was fine. I didn't have any complaints with it. I enjoy all the songs. Nothing's wrong with it. But before I move on to the next album, here are my song rankings for Yours Truly. I didn't make these yet, so I'm gonna like write these after I make the video. But I believe my number 1 is definitely Honeymoon Avenue. What a way to start off. Like, listen, like if you don't like Honeymoon Avenue, you're wrong. Like, it's a good song. It's 5 minutes of like crazy heaven. We love it. R&B, pop, whatever genre you want to call that. Pure masterpiece. Beautiful strings. I think the original Honeymoon Avenue, if you know what I'm talking about, is down here, and the real one is just like skyrocket. So much better. So that's definitely my number 1. I also really enjoy Right There with Big Sean, and I enjoy Daydreamin' a lot, which was actually supposed to be the album title. And then she called it Yours Truly, which I just thought was kind of cute for a debut album. And then on August 25th, 2014, she released her second studio album, sophomore album, My Everything. This came with a deluxe version. I also believe it came with like a Target version. And I have all the songs like downloaded to my phone, so like I know of all of them. But we're just gonna be talking about mainly like the deluxe version, the 15-track album. 15-track? Yeah, 15-track. This album is pure pop. This was the pop album that I assumed that we would get from the beginning, and when she released this, people were like, oh, she's not really singing R&B that much, and like, what's happening? She incorporated some EDM with Zed on Break Free, and same with like different odd sounds, like on Problem with like the whisper chorus of Big Sean, and the rapping of like Big Sean, Childish Gambino, Iggy Azalea, like all the rappers on the album. I would say this album is super, like, I guess defines 2014 in a way. I think it's nostalgic in a sense, and also the longevity of the album as a whole is there. She released, I guess she has 5 singles from this album: Problem, Break Free, Bang Bang, Love Me Harder, and One Last Time. And then One Last Time was a single as she was on tour for the album, so, but we got a music video and all that, so it's counted as a single. Best Mistake with Big Sean was a promotional single, but, and then Santa Tell Me was also released in that little, like, circle of time, as like her Christmas song for the year, which also I think is her most popular Christmas song to date, like out of all of them, so good for her. 2014/15 was definitely a great year for her, but I would define this album as her, like, young, wanting to be crazy and explore the different types of music and kind of set herself apart from the rest of the pop girlies out there, but she couldn't. I feel like she tried really hard, and she wanted to be more like the Iggy Azalea and more like the Big Sean and make that kind of music, but she couldn't because that's not what we perceived her as from her debut. I think that this album has so many great pop bangers on it. I think in a sense it's kind of like Katy Perry, The Complete Confection Teenage Dream album. I think it's a lot of pop songs that don't really go any, like they go, I guess they go places, I'm not going to say that, but they kind of walk with me here. I don't know how to phrase this, but they're kind of just a bunch of amazing songs in one album. So like good for her. Like it made millions, I guarantee it. Also from like the tour and stuff, obviously. But I don't think that this album is as cohesive as the rest of them. I think Yours Truly had a theme, great introduction to her debut. The rest of the albums obviously have themes, and we'll talk about that soon, but this one kind of didn't. I think the slower songs on this song are beautiful, and that makes it cohesive, but like when you name your album after a ballad on the album, like My Everything, which is after her grandfather, beautiful, but I just think that the album cover, the album title, everything about it is beautiful, but like the songs don't fit. Like Bang Bang on this album, I just don't think that the message, she didn't really think clearly when developing this album title and like track listing and structure, which is fine because there are albums that we love like Teenage Dream. It's like the normal pop girly albums that we all love, they're just full of smash hits, which is fine, perfect. But I think this was Ariana's time for that, and because of that, I'm gonna have to give this number 5 in the album placement. I will always stand by this. I feel like her other work is so much greater than this, and also because of all the crazy like singles that she has on here, half of the album has been on radio and has been overplayed by the general public, so there's nothing really that I enjoy on the album. Obviously I have my favorites and I know every word to every song on this album completely front to back, but here's my track listing. So yeah, I'd say this is, I don't want to say her worst album, but it's my number 5 in the rankings. So yeah, here's my track list. I didn't make it yet, obviously, but I do believe that probably, what would be at the top? Only One, or Break Your Heart Right Back, Be My Baby. So while this album was still in full swing and while she was doing all that, she spent 2015 on her Honeymoon World Tour. I actually saw her in March. I think she started the tour in like February or March or something, I don't know. So I was one of the earlier shows. Beautiful, I loved it so much, it was a great time. While she was on the tour, she also released Focus, the single, which was supposed to be like her first single for the next album, but it wasn't, it was kind of just like released for funsies. And then Christmas and Chill, which was her Christmas trap EP, where she experienced more with like the trappy, like, I don't want to say rap because it's not, but like I guess like the hip hop R&B sound, which works for her. And now she really got it to work for her, obviously, because we got the past 3 albums. Beautiful, amazing. So moving on to 2016. Okay, so this album, obviously we all know it was supposed to be titled Moonlight, and it wasn't because she had a different vision, and I think that if she released Moonlight, if she released it as Moonlight and had some different songs, but like some of the same songs that are on Dangerous Woman now, it would have been another My Everything situation. It would have just been a bunch of great songs compiled into one, and it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't have any cohesiveness in the album, and it would have just been kind of weird. But I don't know her vision for it, so like I can't speak. It could have been amazing, like who knows. But Dangerous Woman definitely was, okay, I'll just say it. This is my number 1. Dangerous Woman is her best album to date, and let me explain why. Don't go crazy in the comments. I know we love Sweetener, thank you, next. I get it. But Dangerous Woman is her most cohesive album. This is when she started to write her own music, and I think the transitions in this album, kind of like from one mood to the other or one feeling to another, stellar. She can never top it, I do not think, until she does, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. But this is her best album to date. Walk with me, here we go. So this album was released on May 20th, 2016. The only discrepancy that I have with this was Dangerous Woman was released like earlier in the year, whatever, but she collabed with Beats One Radio or something, some kind of radio station online, to release almost all the album. I guess it worked because the promotion for this album was exquisite and her music videos were to die for and her tour was incredible, but I despised it. I am a big believer of releasing singles, fine, and then keeping the anticipation going and then just dropping them all. But she did every day. So like the week leading up, or the week or 2 weeks leading up to the album, she released a new song every single night. This album already it has 15 tracks. So she released all of her singles, Dangerous Woman, Into You, and then she released Side to Side and Every Day on the radio station, but she also released like Touch It and Greedy and all of the other tracks except for I think Moonlight, Thinking About You, and New Better Forever Boy. I think those were like the only 3 that she didn't release on the radio station and she kept like a surprise for us. But like Bad Decisions, I think I Don't Care was also kept. But like Sometimes, Every Day, Leave Me Lonely, like they were all released before the album came out, and then the album came out and we were all bored. I mean, I wasn't bored. I remember this day so vividly. It was such a great day for me. It was the day I got my braces off. Her album came out and I had my sophomore year high school choir concert, so it was a great day. But I do remember this day very vividly, and I remember just like not being amused because I heard Greedy 6 times before the album came out, and then it comes out and we're like, whatever. Personally, I think the whole vibe with the bunny mask and the album cover itself is her best yet. I think that she encapsulated it incredibly, literally incredibly. Like, there is nothing that she has done that great before with like starting, like telling a story and promoing and all that kind of stuff. This album just had like it just came together and it worked. It worked so well because this is what we were lacking, you know? Like the last crazy album that we got was like Bangers, right? By Miley Cyrus, like 3 years prior. And we were like waiting for that. We got all this pop perfection, whatever, good stuff. And we got like Art Pop by Lady Gaga, which was like the crazy time of her. Like we got that kind of stuff. And then we were just kind of lacking. And we were like, well, what's next? So we got some R&B, we got some trap, meh, and then we got some pop perfection on Dangerous Woman. The general public knows of half of the songs on the album. Greedy is not a single, it's never been on the radio, and somehow a lot of people know of it. That's awesome, like that's really good, but like as a stan or whatever, some of those things I like to keep more to myself and like within the fandom, which is fine because like Touch It, like nobody knows that song, nobody knows New Better Forever Boy, and we all love it. Those are the best songs on there. So here's my rankings of it, and I'll keep talking about it for a minute. So she released Dangerous Woman. There were supposed to be 2 music videos, and she only gave us 1 because the idea or whatever didn't work out, the timing, blah, blah, blah. And then she released Be Alright and Let Me Love You music video as promotional. So they weren't official singles, which was kind of weird because Let Me Love You is a good one, and that was like her first R&B song coming back to this era. Into You, exquisite. That was a single. Everyone knows Into You. Literally every single person. Side to Side, every single person knows. That was probably her biggest hit. Once that hit came out, before like Thank You Next and 7 Rings, Side to Side was like her best song to date within the general public and with radio and with sales and streams and all that. Side to Side was like up there. And then Every Day featuring Future, which was an interesting song, but it got a music video, it got a lyric video even, and that was all right around the time that she was doing Hairspray Live, which I thought was kind of cool because Hairspray is my favorite musical, and the fact that she was in it and played Penny Pingleton, can't touch it. Literally can't touch it. Incredible stuff. I have it on DVD actually. But then for 2017, she embarked in the Dangerous Woman tour. And then after that, after the tragedy in Manchester, she did the One Love Manchester benefit concert, which was incredible. I think she handled the situation amazingly, but we're not going to talk about it too much because that's sad, and we definitely know all about it. So moving on. She didn't come to my city for Dangerous Woman tour. This video is already 25 minutes, and I have so much more to talk about. Okay, so Sweetener and Thank You Next are obviously the next albums I'm going to talk about, we all know. For my ranking, this is subject to change all the time. Actually, all of this is subject to change. Like, I could put the track listing of my favorite songs and they're gonna change tomorrow. Same with how I view the albums. I mean, I firmly believe Dangerous Woman is her best body of work ever. But I guess, like, things are subject to change. Whatever. So, I believe that she released Sweetener and then she released Thank You Next after. Fine, we all knew that. And we all know why she released it too, right? We're not going to speak of it because we all know. Sweetener walked so Thank You Next could run. I believe that Thank You Next would have never happened if Sweetener didn't happen. Because if she went from Dangerous Woman to just like waiting and not really writing a lot after the whole, like after the Manchester tragedy and coping with her inner demons and things like that, that's fine, but I think that Thank You Next would have never been made if Sweetener wasn't made. You feel? I don't know. I talk about this to nobody, literally to myself, but I think about it all the time. If Sweetener was never released or like thought of, Thank You Next would have never been out. It would have been, maybe Thank You Next would have been, well, no, it wouldn't have been, but something like Thank You Next would have been released, like Seven Rings or Break Up With Your Girlfriend, something like that, and the album would have been centered around that, and like we might have gotten Breathe In or God Is a Woman, but we wouldn't have got like the two separate eras that came so close together and fit so perfectly. Look at this diagram. These are interchangeable between my second and third spot. Right now, Sweetener is my number 2, and Thank You Next album is my number 3. Because I feel this album is more time and nostalgia based. Like, I was sitting in the freezing cold winter, well, in my dorm room, but it was freezing cold outside when Thank You Next came out. And it has all these dreamy songs like Imagine and Ghostin' and things like that. But Sweetener was released at the end of August. I was on vacation. Like, it just brings good vibes for the summer for me. Hearing, like, Blazed and Sweetener Successful, God Is a Woman, The Light Is Coming, summer. Like, that's what I think of. So, like, during summertime, when it's, like, nice out and stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, Sweetener. But when it's, like, cold and the leaves are changing and it's snowing outside, Thank You Next. So that's why they're interchangeable, because I could not place them, because I truly believe that they are cohesive, both of them. Sweetener is all about bringing light to a bad situation, and Thank You Next is saying, like, thank you so much for all the experiences that I've learned, but I'm ready for the next thing, goodbye. And I believe that those two are so interlockable and interchangeable. That is why I believe that. So, with that said, Sweetener was released on August 17th, 2018. As soon as this album came out, she went on to the Sweetener Sessions, which was a promotional tour just to like 3 or 4 cities, and she also did the VMAs. And then she did like that special release on every 20th, so she released her first single, No Tears Left to Cry, on April 20th, and then on May 20th she performed said song at the Billboard Awards, and then on June 20th she released The Light Is Coming. I actually think on June 20th, she released The Light Is Coming and the album pre-order and cover art and all that fun stuff. And then July 20th was supposed to be God Is a Woman, but she couldn't wait that long, so she released it like 2 weeks early. And then the album came August 17th because Apple and Spotify, like, you have to release on a Friday, and August 20th wasn't a Friday, so she released like that closest one. So she tried for the every 20th thing, which was cool, but it didn't really work out. But I enjoyed it. I thought that No Tears Left to Cry was an amazing comeback single. And I feel the album was super raw and personal. The Pharrell production wasn't top notch, but like, okay, we're not going to really talk about that. If you want to know more about my thoughts on Pharrell, watch my other Sweetener reaction thing video that I did. But The Light Is Coming was released after that as a promotional single and like a Reebok sponsor, whatever. And then God Is a Woman, her best music video to date, was released after that, and then Breathe In was released with the album, so we got a music video as well as like the song when the album came out. So she stuck to like the structure of like single, promotion, single, album. She didn't do this weird like release party on radio and all this weird stuff. Thank God. This album, I think, got the most promotion that any of her albums ever have. I thought Dangerous Woman did like got more promotion at the time, but Sweetener was everywhere. Like everywhere you looked in New York, in LA, like everywhere, her face was upside down on a billboard. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please look up pictures. Please tell me I'm wrong. Her face was upside down everywhere. Everywhere. And that's when her whole upside down era kind of started, and her whole lowercasing the titles of all of her songs. Like, come on. Like the No Tears Left to Cry whole upside down vibe. We were like, what does that mean? And then the music video came out and it was upside down and we were like, oh my god. So then she kind of ran with that. Like I'm saying, cohesiveness. Hello. Cohesiveness. Thank You Next came out 6 months later, February 8th, 2019. How do you write an amazing album? Also, Sweetener won a Grammy. But, you know, let's not forget that. Thank You Next came out 6 months later, kept the upside down theme, kind of, kept the lowercase theme, kind of. Incredible. And she was gonna set out on her tour, but then she was like, here's an album, and let me tour both of these albums because I'm allowed. Feminism, women empowerment, whatever you want to call it, like, she's incredible, we get it. But she released Thank You Next in like November, so that was already 3 months after Sweetener release, so she was already giving us new music. And then we got the incredible music video, Nostalgia. Let me just say it, and I'll get into that more, but Nostalgia, come on, we all love it, we all want it, and she gave us that by doing the Legally Blonde, Mean Girls, Bring It On, 13 Going on 30 references in the music video. Huh, incredible. I did a reaction to that too if you want to watch it. It's somewhere on my channel, go find it, I don't know. And then Imagine was her promotional single for this album, so she stuck with the structure. And then Seven Rings, which I have thoughts, but at the time, I have a reaction video to it as well. At the time, I loved it. I still really love it. It's probably, well, no. It's the general public's favorite song by her. We get it. But, and then Break Up With Your Girlfriend came as a music video and with the album, just like Breathin' did for Sweetener. So, I think that, like I said, these albums are so cohesive and the things that they do are so similar, but they have such a different sound, and that's why I love them so much. I think Seven Rings it had the whole, like, Sound of Music sample in it, which is amazing, good thing for marketing, and then it experimented, like, more within that trap sound, which the whole album did as a whole, really experimented with, like, that trap sound and different production that she's never used before. And the whole story, I'm glad that she took Seven Rings and ran with it, because after that song came out, for that next month or two, the song came out in like January, for that next like month before the album came out, every single place, like business, every single person was tweeting and saying, I want it, I got it. Somehow, like they were saying like, oh, that, like they were posting a picture of like a pancake at IHOP and they were like, you want it, you got it. And like, what do you mean? An amusement park that I live very close to, like, took a picture of like a slushie, I think, I don't remember. They took a picture of like some kind of like drink and they were like, you see it, you like it, you want it, you got it this summer. Like they were promoting with Ariana. I was like, oh my god. And then that also happened with Thank You Next. The whole like one taught me love, one taught me patience meme. Like everybody had that Twitter thing just, oh, she's incredible. She's incredible. And then a lot of people were saying Break Up With Your Girlfriend on Board because that's the funniest like song title in the world and it could mean so many different things. So that was also incredible. So yes, these albums are interchangeable between my 2 and 3. Right now Sweetener is my number 2, Thank You Next is my number 3, just because of the season and how I'm feeling. I'm happy and I love it. I love it all so much. After releasing Thank You Next album, she toured the world on the Sweetener World Tour after saying she wasn't going to tour, and then she did for like 9-10 months. She came to my city. I bawled my eyes out the entire 2-hour, hour-and-a-half time. And then at the end of the tour, she was like, here's a live album. Okay, bye for now. Because she like kept releasing stuff and we were like, you gotta go to bed. And she was like, no. And then she finally said like, here, I'm done. But before that, she released Boyfriend with Social House. Little collab. She released Monopoly with Victoria Monet. Great songs, great things to release while you're on a tour because you don't have time to focus too much on an album, even though she probably already finished another one, who knows. But she did release Charlie's Angels, that soundtrack that she has been working on forever, producing and writing songs for and stuff, which was fine. It wasn't like an amazing album, but it was, you know, good enough. I completely forgot. Here are my Sweetener song rankings. Get Well Soon is her best song of all time. We've Been New. So there's that. And then here's my Thank You Next song rankings as well. I believe Fake Smile and Bad Idea in my head. Those are all the ones up there because they are her best songs on that album. We all knew. So, my last part of this video, I'm going to talk about her best music videos and her best live performances from each year. For best music videos, I did 4 categories: aesthetic, fashion, visuals, and longevity / nostalgia. For aesthetic, the prize goes to Into You. I think she looked incredible. She's so pretty, I mean, all the time, but whatever. And I just thought the colors and like her hair, I always like to look at her hair because her hair's like different in every video. Sometimes it's curly, sometimes it's crimped, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's, you know, whatever. And this one, I really liked like the natural waves, and I believe her ponytail was not in, well, like in one of the scenes, like the outside in the desert scene, I don't think she had a ponytail. For the fashion, I think Side to Side was amazing. She partnered with Guess, yeah. And the music video got released on their website before releasing to the public on YouTube. So that was kind of cool. Get that promo money. For visuals, I think this is obvious. God Is a Woman. Also No Tears, but God Is a Woman mainly has the best visuals. How she was in like space or whatever, and then she like had the cartoon where she was like pregnant, and the whole thinking man, and the just all the like references in general. Like I just thought that it was incredibly done, and I'm surprised that she topped it because I thought No Tears was like her comeback best video ever, and it wasn't. God Is a Woman topped it. And then for longevity and nostalgia, I had to say Thank You Next, like I said before, because of the movie references and because of how popular the song was with like the One Taught Me Love meme, and just like in general, like people were just saying Thank You Next. Like it just was such like a staple in her career, and that is why that she was Woman of the Year for Billboard in 2019. Rightfully deserved. So then for her best performances, starting at 2013, I think when she performed The Way on Jimmy Fallon. 2014, she did Bang Bang at the AMAs with Nicki and Jessie J. 2015, she had a 100.6 fever, and she killed Focus at the AMAs, so please go watch that if you haven't. 2016, she did Side to Side at the AMAs because she kind of flopped at the VMAs. So then she came back and did it again, and it was incredible. Also, Hairspray Live was also in 2016, so I threw that in there. 2017, we didn't really see much of her because she was on the Dangerous Woman World Tour. So 2018 was really hard. I thought she had a lot of killer performances. No Tears Left to Cry on the Billboard Awards was beautiful. I love the whole like umbrella kind of vibe. God Is a Woman on the VMAs when she brought out her mom and Nona. Incredible there. And then when she performed God Is a Woman at the BBC Live Lounge, or whatever that is, she did like No Tears and r.e.m there as well, but when she performed God Is a Woman, kind of more laid back, like acoustic style, sort of. Oh my god, she sounded incredible. For 2019, I said either Coachella, because she was the youngest first woman artist to headline, and she performed pretty much like her whole entire tour at Coachella, so that was incredible. Or any performance of Breathin' that you can find that's live from the Sweetener World Tour is probably incredible. And then for 2020, I think all she did was the Grammys, and it wasn't my favorite performance. Like, it was good, and I really enjoyed Imagine and her performing My Favorite Things leading into Seven Rings, but I just thought that she could have, like, it was a good thing to close out the chapter of Thank You Next and Sweetener and all that, but I don't know, it wasn't my favorite performance, but that's all she's really done because now we're in quarantine. She's done like a few like live streamy type of events and singing, and she's releasing a new song with Justin Bieber. It might be out by the time this video is out, so go listen to it if you haven't. It's called Stuck With You. So to conclude with Ariana, I'm going to end this video, but I'm going to tell you about the giveaway. But just as my last final thoughts, remember that these are all opinions. The only thing that is wrong with Ariana Grande is her merch team and the DJ she hired for the honeymoon tour. If we can remember, we know. I went to Target and I found this book. that's her at the billboards performing No Tears, Left to Cry. And there's a lot of stuff talking about her perfume launch. I didn't even talk about her perfume launch. I believe the normal R.e. by Ariana Grande or Sweet Like Candy are her best perfumes. I don't really care for Moonlight. I think they all smell the same low-key. And what was the other one? Cloud. And then Thank You Next. I didn't get to smell Thank You Next yet. But I think they're all kind of similar. Yeah, these are, like, this talks a lot about Dangerous Woman, and then it talks about up to, like, Thank You Next Time, I think. Oh my god, the last chapter is called Imagine. Are you kidding me? It was a cute book. I don't know. But I'm going to be giving this away because I just talked for 45 minutes about Ariana Grande. And so if you actually stayed through it and you want this book, oh my god, of course. We'll send this out via the mail. So if you would like this book, all you need to do is comment on this video your Instagram handle and follow me on my Instagram at noah.woodward, and that is all you need to do. I will pick one random winner sometime soon, maybe like next week or the week after, just because I need to see like how many submissions I'll actually get, because I don't think anyone's gonna want this book. Hi, this is me in editing right now. I got a haircut. Hope you like it. But I didn't mention this, but like you should probably share the video with somebody or like post it somewhere, like on like retweet it or post it on your Instagram story. That'd be kind of cool. So try to do that too. Thanks. But I never read it. It literally still has the sticker on it. So yeah, if you would like this book, just comment your Instagram handle and then follow me at my Instagram, and I will be in contact with a winner via DM to get your address and send it your way. And then I'll also, like, I'm not going to sign it because I'm not, like, famous, but I'll include, like, a little handwritten note inside or something. Not writing in the book. I'll put, like, a piece of paper in there. Don't you worry. But yeah, if you would like it, just, you know, follow those steps, and I will send it to you. So that is it. I just talked so long. I don't think I've ever, well, I know this is going to be my longest video I've ever filmed, but I've been such in the mood because quarantine has been happening and I'm done with school. I finished school. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I love you all to the moon and back. Please enter the giveaway if you want. Remember that all these opinions are my own, and I would love to hear your opinions, so please comment down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. If you want me to do this again with, like, other artists, like Kelly Clarkson or Lady Gaga, comment down below, give me recommendations. I really enjoyed just kind of, like, talking for an hour about my favorite celebrity, and I would love to keep doing it because I have so many favorite celebrities. Click the like button and let me know. Alright, I'm going nuts, so I'm gonna leave. Alright, I love you guys so much. Goodbye.
Subscribe! This is the channel to subscribe to. If you're gonna subscribe to any.